Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tips. My name is Julian and this is the drops video for week 25 of the fantasy season. Now I know this week is either your finals or semifinals, so it is an important week, so I will go through quite a few players that you can consider dropping this week to really help you make sure you make the right decisions for this week. Now before we get started, please leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and follow me on Twitter at FantasyTip. Now, without further ado, let's jump into the content, and let's start with some forwards that you can consider dropping from your team. And first on the list, I have JT Miller and all Vancouver Canucks players. JT Miller is 98% rostered, and the reason I have him on the list is because after Thursday, the Vancouver Canucks don't play another game for the rest of the week. And if this is your finals, and only if this is your finals, I'm going to be dropping all of my Canucks after that Thursday game, because they're not going to be playing any more games for you. So you might as well swap them out for someone who can play and actually fit in your lineup. That is the logical thing to do. If this is your semifinals, obviously I'm still holding on to JT Miller, Elias Pettersson, and all those other good Canucks because you're going to need them for the finals. Next, I have Gabriel Landeskog of the Colorado Avalanche, 80% rostered, and I had him on my fantasy team, and I made the hard decision to drop him. Guess what? Nobody claimed him off waivers. No one really wants to waste an ad at this point on a guy who probably won't play again for the rest of the year. I mean, there's a chance that he plays the last game or two of the season, but it's seeming less and less likely as the days go by. I really don't think Landeskog plays until the playoffs. They have no real reason to play him until the playoffs. Same kind of thing with Mark Stone. He's still 78% rostered, and it doesn't look like he's going to play until the playoffs, if Vegas even make the playoffs. The thing is, I don't think Vegas has the cap space to actually be able to play Mark Stone, even if he does become healthy before the playoffs. So to me, Mark Stone is a drop, obviously not in keeper leagues, but Mark Stone, if you're in a redraft league, definitely an easy drop if you do need the IR space. And then I have Andre Palat of the Tampa Bay Lightning, 64% rostered, and he has not been super great this year. He's playing on the line with Kucherov and with Braden Point, and he's still not putting up numbers at all. He's not on the top power play. And Tampa Bay doesn't have a very good schedule next week. They play Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, all the super busy nights, and odds are you may not even be able to fit him in your schedule, and you'll probably be benching the guy anyway. So if that is the case, especially, Palat is a guy that you can consider dropping from your team. He's not doing a whole lot. If there's somebody better out there, I would definitely swap Palat for them. If you're in a super deep league and you will be playing Palat on those busy nights, and there's nobody better available, obviously, I'm going to hold on to him and cross my fingers. He is playing with good players, so he definitely could still put up some points. Just if there's anybody better out there, I'd probably rather them. And then I have Jesper Bratt of the New Jersey Devils, 62% rostered, and he actually has 67 points in 67 games this year. He's been unreal. He's been really good. Except for as of late, he's on quite a cold stretch. He's really ice cold, not doing a whole lot. And if I'm in a shallower league where there's other guys available that are actually producing right now, I might be inclined to pick them up instead, especially if you're going to be putting Jesper Bratt on your bench anyway, because New Jersey does play on those busy nights as well. So check your lineup on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Will you be benching Jesper Bratt anyway due to his performances? Do you have better players that you would play instead of Jesper Bratt? If the answer is yes to that, well, it might be time to drop Jesper Bratt, maybe for someone who plays on the off nights that you can actually fit in your schedule. Next, I have Tyler Bertuzzi of the Detroit Red Wings, and he's still playing top line and top power play, but as of late, he is not really producing a lot, which is pretty concerning. And honestly, guys, it's hard to hold a guy that's not producing on your team. Again, if you're in a deep league, I'm not dropping Bertuzzi. The upside is definitely way too high. But if you are in a shallower league, somebody out there that's actually on a point streak, that's actually producing, may be worth dropping him for them. I do still like Bertuzzi, though. I do think there's a very good chance that he does turn it around, though. So don't be too quick to pull the trigger on dropping Bertuzzi. I'm just letting you know that he is on a cold streak, so he might be worth moving in shallower leagues. And then I have Jack Hughes of the New Jersey Devils, 57% rostered, and he's out for the rest of the year, guys. So unless you're in a keeper league, he's a very easy drop at this point. And actually was going to have Cam Atkinson and Anders Lee on this list because they are also ice cold, not doing so well. But the thing is, both those players have 2 off-night games this week, and therefore they actually have a significant amount of value, especially if they can start putting up points again. And that's why I'm not dropping those guys, even though they're really not producing right now. Then I have Anthony Cirelli of the Tampa Bay Lightning, 32% rostered, and Anthony Cirelli is playing on the second line. He's doing all right, but he seems to have slowed down again, and I'm not a huge fan of him, especially with the schedule that he has. He plays on only the busy nights, and odds are you can't fit him in your lineup anyway. Swap him out for someone who plays on those off nights. Then I have Kyler Yamamoto, same thing, plays only on the busy nights, not really producing anymore. He's not on the line with McDavid anymore. He's not on the top power play anymore, and therefore he's honestly a pretty easy drop. And then Michael Backlund is also someone who only plays on those super busy nights, and I highly doubt that you're going to actually have room for him in your lineup. He's not producing right now. There are definitely better options than him out there, even for the busy nights, honestly. But I would probably swap him out for someone who plays on those less busy nights because that's probably where you have room. Jumping into defensemen, and first I have Miro Heiskanen of the Dallas Stars. Now, Heiskanen hasn't been atrocious. He just hasn't been very good. And that's pretty much the case for how he's been all year. His point average in my points league that counts hits, blocks, shots, points, kind of everything. It's a really good system to count, point total. He's 50th in my league in terms of defensemen. That's not great. He's behind guys like Orlov, Severson, and Matt Roy. So Heiskanen's not doing particularly well, and lately he's been pretty cold as well. So if there's somebody out there that's producing right now, I wouldn't hesitate too much to drop Heiskanen for them, because Heiskanen, while he is a big name and he is pretty high rostered, he hasn't been that amazing this year. So if you need to drop someone and you don't know who to drop and you're like, oh, maybe should I drop Heiskanen? He probably is the guy to drop. Then I have Matt Dumba of the Minnesota Wild, and they said his injury doesn't look good, which is not good. And in the fantasy playoffs, if you don't have room on your IR plus, you may have to drop Matt Dumba because you're not going to want to waste a roster spot on someone who's not playing. And then I have Shane Gostisbehere of the Arizona Coyotes, 44% rostered, and I'm not dropping him in all leagues. If you're in a league that you have Gostisbehere and there's literally no better defenseman out there, I'm keeping him. The thing is, he's ice cold right now. But his deployment's still really good, still top power play, definitely still has every opportunity to put up points. He just hasn't as of late. Unfortunately, he's on one of his colder streaks, but he definitely could turn it around next week. I'm not overly worried. Just if there's somebody better out there that's actually producing, I might swap him out for them if I'm in a shallower league. And then Gustav Forsling on the Florida Panthers, 29% rostered. He had a little bit of a hot streak lately, but overall in the season hasn't been that great. He was really, really good at the beginning of the season and really, really cold pretty much the entire mid portion of the season up until now. He's producing a little bit more now, but still not super high on him. If you do want him for those off nights on Friday and Sunday, that's all right, but there's probably better options. Then I have Brady Shea of the Carolina Hurricanes, ice, like frozen ice cold. He's just someone that I don't want anywhere near my team right now. Next is my Manscaped must-trim player of the video, John Gibson. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code word FANTASYTIP at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with code word FANTASYTIP. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. Now, why is John Gibson my Manscaped must-trim player of the video? Well, he's playing very, very poorly, and so poorly, in fact, that Stolarz is actually starting to get more starts than him, and I think Stolarz is going to get the majority of the starts next week. So Gibson maybe gets 1 out of 3 starts, and on top of that, they're playing some pretty tough matchups. Their first 2 games next week are Florida and Tampa Bay. That's not an easy matchup, and even if Gibson does get one of those matchups, odds are he's not going to perform that great against them. Anyway, John Gibson, guys, unfortunately, is a drop right now. Then I have Jordan Binnington, who was my Manscaped must-trim player last week. Still a trim, guys. Get rid of Jordan Binnington. Not starting a lot of games. Been really bad whenever he's called upon. Husso's been much better than Binnington. He's a drop. Then I have Jake Allen of the Montreal Canadiens, and he recently got injured. And that means that with only 1 or 2 weeks left in the season, odds are Carey Price is going to be back before Jake Allen. returns from his injury, because Price is probably going to be back this week in all likelihood. And until Price comes back, it will be Montembeault and nets. But anyway, guys, Jake Allen is someone that I'm not holding anymore, just because even if he comes back, Price is the guy, not him. Then Antti Raanta of the Carolina Hurricanes, 25% rostered. Is not feeling well apparently at the moment, but not getting really enough games to merit holding this week. And Carolina only does play 3 games, no back-to-back sets, so Raanta may not even get a start this week, and I'm not risking holding him for that. Then I have Logan Thompson of the Vegas Golden Knights. And with Robin Lehner back, guys, Thompson won't really be seeing any starts anymore. They don't have any back-to-back sets this week, so Lehner could see all 3 games for Vegas this week. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today. Please leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped. Good luck in your matchups, guys.